Hi, and welcome to Global Student Voices, the podcast that brings you exciting stories and invaluable insights from students, educators, and thought leaders around the world. I'm your host, Coach Martin, with 30 years of experience in international education. Join us each time when we navigate the exciting journey between international secondary school and university. Let's get started. From Limuru, Kenya. Got here on a kind of a different edition of the podcast here on Global Student Voices. This week we've been on campus at Woodland Park International School here in Kenya. We have entered into a partnership with Woodland Star to provide career and college counseling services for all of their students. And it's the first of what I hope will become a trend around the world. We'd like to add more and more. Something really beautiful, very exciting, and about this not as a theory, but in practice. So in theory, I always believe that offering guidance services as an extension of the school, in partnership with the school, actually had a large number of benefits. One, it reinforces the ethos of the school. So whatever the ethos is, an external source that's affirming what the school is doing and its value, and can, from the outside, help students shape their story, their personal experience, without the kind of complicated interpersonal things that happen in the life of schools, teachers that you're around for years and years. It provides a level of, it's an extension of that great connection, particularly if it's with an organization like ours, Global Student Solutions, where we come from that same experience. I'm the product of an international school. I was the principal and guidance counselor at an international school. My son went to an international school, so I'm the parent of an international student. And been around and worked this process from all the angles. I spent 10 years at university doing the acceptance of global students entering into college. And then I flipped the other side and sent kids from our institution off to colleges, the top colleges in the world. I've had students going to Berkeley and Columbia and all kinds of amazing institutions in 20 or so countries. And that's unique. And so that's why I think what we're doing is so special. So that was the theory. And the theory was, look, we can provide this if, as we grow, we'll have counselors in all kinds of different time zones. So the reality is that most students do their thinking about career and their applications for college and sit down with their parents in the evenings and weekends, right? That's when they're together. And the traditional guidance counselor isn't there at that time. The traditional guidance counselor is at home with their family on the evenings and the weekends. And so during those breaks from school and holidays and, all the times when you're actually working on those things. And so the theory that this would be a good thing was working out fantastically in individual settings. We were working with individual students and families, and it works brilliant. And we believed it would work great with schools, and now we know it does. Being able to come be on campus, hopefully a couple of times a year, maybe even as many as each term, would be ideal, right? But if we can at least get here once a year and make connections with students, meet with parents, and then the fact that they can just go in their own portal, click on a button, set up a 30-minute meeting as soon as that evening with a coach to talk through what they're working on, that we have access to their portfolios. We know their grades. We know their teachers we've met. We know their institution. We understand both the opportunities and the limitations that are around them. And that's a huge advantage for the student. And these students at international schools, we've always believed they should be recruited by universities. They should be, and they are desired, but those universities, it's impossible for them to track down all these amazing students all over the world. And by creating this network and by us providing services to more and more schools, we create this pool of students that then colleges can find them. We can help connect and build that bridge. And we know that these students, they're not all going to go to, I may be based in America. I know the students aren't going to all go to America. From a particular school, none may go to America. That's great. I know schools in Canada, and we have students, the students we've worked with have gone to school all over the world. We continue to do research and to find opportunities and to make those connections. So that's exciting to us. To me, that's thrilling, all the possible exploration. And of course, there are college counselors out there that sell packages that have some schools that they work for, that they recruit for, and they can help you get in there really quickly and easily. And we would like to have some schools that really want global students to be on the receiving end of these amazing students. But we also know that
There are new schools coming, new universities and new training opportunities. And who knows what the world's going to be like in 2 years. There may be extraordinary opportunities that we don't even know about yet. To be in partnership with international schools as we discover those things is exactly why I want to do this. So I just want to share a couple things about what we've experienced in setting this up. One, we've affirmed that we need to do this setup in person. It just works way better. It costs a little bit more, but it's totally worth it. It allows us to meet one-on-one with students. I'm continually both surprised and blessed by how quickly we can connect with students in an in-person setting. I feel like I know these kids. Will I remember everybody's name the next time we connect? Probably not. But they're not unfamiliar names. They're not unfamiliar stories. We've chatted and we really, it's amazing connected I felt. I was describing to family yesterday that when I met with, during the time I've been here, I met with all of the, over 30 students. I met with all the teachers. I met with most of the teachers one-on-one. I met with all the school counselors one-on-one. I met with all the administrators one-on-one and in groups. Met with parents both one-on-one as well as in groups. And to do that all in a week is crazy. And I can't do that at huge schools. And so the fact that our primary target, our primary mission is to schools that don't have vast amounts of resources that they can throw at their kids. Smaller, mid-size international schools are a perfect fit for us. We can come in, have somebody on the ground like myself, sitting down with students over a week or two and really get to know them, really get connected. I mean, I had, kids coming up to me and giving me high fives on day 3. And by the time I was leaving, there was a line of students that wanted to say goodbye and talk about the future. And I kept saying, next time I'll see you online and we'll live vicariously through the internet. They'll share videos. I hope they'll share videos of their activities. We'll talk about how to capture those experiences in their portfolio. So in a couple of years, when they're actually applying to college, they'll have this vast pool of resources of their own experiences to tell the university about them and to help to tell their story, because the stories are special and it's amazing. And at this school,
Now let's return to our conversation.
and maybe your school is like this, but at this school, they have a lot of differentiated instruction. They have they have various levels of abilities from, the whole range, from folks who are hoping to finish here and be able to perhaps even live on their own when that seems unlikely when they're young, to others who, at the top of their class in any school anywhere in the world. The differentiated instruction, the project-based learning, the mastery-based reporting at this particular institution is a perfect fit. It's fantastic. And it's going to make it really easy for me to advocate for these kids as they're applying to universities and to help them tell their story. So that's amazing. The fact that this is an environmental and socially conscious school, which, most international schools are to some degree, but this one is located in a forest preserve. How cool is that? These kids are seeing the fruits of preservation. They're learning to grow in their own gardens. It's just amazing. It's really an amazing place. So Woodland Star, if you're looking for ways at your institution to become more project-based, become more mastery-based feedback, and you're trying to figure out how to make that happen, hit us up. We'll connect you with folks here. They're doing an amazing job. What's amazing to me? It's just amazing, right? I've met with a lot of international schools now, and each time I meet one, they're imperfect. I've yet to meet a perfect one. They're falling short of their assigned mission. They have troubles. They have financial challenges. Everyone has its things. They have personnel issues, can't find enough teachers, don't have the right teachers in the right seats. Enrollment isn't what they want it to be, or it's just whatever, every possible scenario problem that there is for schools. And what's so great with bringing in consultants is that we can kind of share those experiences across the different institutions and what's working well. You don't have to trial and error every possible thing. So that's fantastic. But the other thing, I want to give feedback to every international student, every international school, every international school. Imperfect is still better than the other options. Imperfect is still better. Going after an ideal, being on a mission as an institution is important. And continuing after that, not caving to peer pressure, public pressure is important. And the results will speak for themselves. These day and age, everybody's trying to figure out the secret formula for college admission. And that's one of the first books that I did was the 6 Pillars of University Readiness. I tried to investigate those admissions policies and essay questions and say, what are these colleges really trying to get at with all this random, with all these tests and assessments and, what is the SAT and GPA and what can that possibly tell them when there's so many different kinds of schools and different planets? And the reality is they can't take everybody. And so they've got to figure out a way to assess whether the student's a good fit for them, whether that fits their mission and they're going to produce the kind of student they want. And international students are not global students. Students from international schools are not the perfect fit for every university. Some of them have no business admitting them. But for most good colleges and universities around the world, these students enhance your campus. They enhance your culture. They bring a perspective to discussion in classes and among peers that you just can't manufacture. So, as international families, they're stressed about whether to do IB or AB, AP, which standardized tests they should take, when they should take them, how often they should practice for it. Should you do SAT boot camps? Is that the most important thing? And they hear these individual stories. You guys hear these individual stories of families, and a family has quote unquote success. They achieve a similar thing to what you want for your child. And then you say, well, how did you do that? And you think you have to duplicate that somehow will do it. The reality is that the person who got admitted may or may not know exactly why. But I will wager very heavily that it wasn't their SAT score or the number of APs they had or the scores they got on them. It was how well they told their story, how well they were able to capture their academic ability. Are they a strong student? Do they know what they want to do with their life, or are they at least open to the possibilities? Are they committed to making an impact in their community? Do they bring value in terms of cultural navigation to the institution, which will make them valuable assets to our society moving forward? Of course, academic excellence, but in a way that's almost a standard issue, right? There isn't a fixed formula at a good university. There maybe there is at some. I don't know. I don't think there's a fixed formula that says we take the most APs with the highest scores, with the highest SAT, the highest GPA, that's taken the largest number of classes, and that's who gets admitted and everybody else gets thrown down the toilet. I just don't think that's happening, because I don't think that's the kind of culture that any university is trying to build. They don't want matching students. They want a mosaic that's beautiful. Students from international schools bring vibrancy to that mosaic. If you're a school and you find the management of international enrollment challenging, reach out to us. We can help simplify your process and help you get what you're wanting out of your admission process, help you clarify your process so that it doesn't keep the students you want out of the process. And if you're an international school, we'd love to shout your amazing story from the mountaintops and share it with universities as we're engaging with them. So I really want to encourage folks to join the International Global Education Network. If you're an international school, particularly if you're a small or mid-sized international school, this is the way to elevate what you're offering your families. You're already doing a great job with a lot of different things. This is a way to finish off. Think of us as kind of the icing on the cake. You don't need too much icing. You just need the right amount. And this does it. This will accentuate. We help bring out the flavor in your cake. And that's what we're trying to do. For students and families, if your school's not already a part of the network, please encourage them to join. But also you can join individually as a family. We can work that out. And then finally, if you're a college or university and you are curious about how your campus can be transformed by these students, let me know, and we will definitely walk alongside you. Thank you. Let's do this.